Good evening. Tonight is the Wednesday, October 8th meeting of the Lowell Conservation Commission. I would like to start off by taking an item out of order and bring up a request for determination of applicability. Courtney Ahern, 75 Martin Street. An RDA has been submitted by Courtney Ahern to install a porch in the rear of their property. The work will be done within the 100-year FEMA floodplain. What can you tell me about your project? Come up to the mic, give us your name and address, please.
So this is for a deck for, I'm not Courtney, she's hired by us.
Cool.
And it is to accommodate a hot tub.
Can you still give us your name and...
Oh, my name is Kendra Men, and I work for Men Construction.
Okay.
So this is for a deck to accommodate a hot tub for, my client has brain cancer, and so this is to help with her pain, so that we don't have to install stairs coming from the home. So she'd like to be able to walk out to a flat surface, get in the tub, get out.
Okay. Any work that's happens in the floodplain, the goal is to avoid adding fill to the flood zone, right?
Yep.
Here, and so what we have here is a set of stairs, and it looks like probably 4x4s or 6x6s.
That's correct. Yep.
It looks like your concrete goes right to the existing elevation of the
That's right. Yep.
soil. My recommendation would be, just more than anything else during construction, when you have a stockpile, try to make sure it's completed by the time that we have a flood. If you have
Yes.
large rains coming,
Yeah.
get your holes closed up and stabilized as fast as possible.
Got it. Yep.
But other than that, I would call this de minimis fill to the flood zone.
Yeah, I think it's a project that can definitely go ahead. So I'll make a motion to give this project a -3 determination.
I'll second that motion.
Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, and back to the regularly scheduled programming. Our one other item of business is an enforcement order with the Kamai Lowell and Kamai American Cultural Center, project location 48 Townsend Avenue. This is something we've discussed on a previous meeting. At our last meeting, we discussed locating, originally the removal of trees within the floodplain that led to this enforcement order. And at the last meeting, we discussed hopefully some guidance as to other areas on the site that were not scheduled to be disturbed during future previously permitted redevelopment. So hopefully we can talk about some suitable replacement locations. Good evening. Of course.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and member of the Commissioner. Samkhan Khun, I'm the President of the Wat Khmer and Khmer American Cultural Center. Per the Commissioner request last meetings on September 24, 2025, we at Wat Khmer and Khmer American Cultural Center respectfully propose to the planting of 23 new trees within the temple ground we intend to plant the combination of the white flowering dogwood and pink dogwood tree, which are both aesthetically pleasing and environmentally beneficial. In addition to that, as we discussed last time, we have planted 39 emerald green tree already along Townsend Avenue between 48 and 66 Townsend Avenue. These new plant including 7 pink dogwood tree planted to the back of the property, which is adjacent to Marshall and Market Basket. Another 2 white tree along the edge at the cemetery, and the remaining 14 tree planted along the wooded area, which is between halfway of the property. And there is a map that we attach to that sort of, we also provide the dogwood tree as a reference, specifically the pink and the white flowerings, and of course the dogwood tree specification as well, with the height, with the zonings, and what kind of soils and sun signs and all that kind of stuff, provide for your information as well. We hope that these plantings would be acceptable by you and the commissioner, and if it is so, then we can proceed with the work as soon as possible before the winter start, possibly by next week or the week after.
So the last thing you said, I'm about to plant some trees at my house. I think it's okay. You just want to make sure that they're protected on frost nights, and well watered until the ground's frozen. As far as replacement, I think it was 22 trees that were removed.
That's correct, yes.
Somewhere between 6 and 14 inches in diameter. Typically, the way that I like to think of tree replacement is, on a mature inch by inch of the size of the tree at waist height. And so, we have some approximations of what was removed, and we have some, expectation based on the species of trees that you've proposed, how large these trees could be. I like dogwoods personally because it's, they spread out pretty far. They don't grow super high, but their roots spread just like their canopy, basically.
Right.
Which is, the further the roots are spreading, the more water gets sucked up by the tree. It seems like your replacement proposal is probably a little bit under the inch by inch kind of, nothing other than a best way for me measure replacement trees. But as requested, you've highlighted, it looks like the areas that aren't scheduled to be disturbed. I think it does get a good chunk of the final planting plan done. And certainly there's other, with a re-permitting of the project, there's lots of other disturbance, more than what's covered just by the tree planting. So
We plan to plant more as
of
time
course,
goes by.
yeah. Once the rest of the lands are regraded and stabilized,
Right.
there's plenty more room for planting. But this does get a chunk of your original planting plan done, which is really what I was looking for and hoping for. That certainly we weren't going to be asking you to install trees that you'd then get a permit for in a couple of years for this project and then have to rip out and relocate, or
Right.
chance losing and spending more money on these trees. The goal is to move forward towards your development plan, even though unfortunately it isn't permitted, and hopefully this is the last time that we have a conversation about work that wasn't permitted. Those are my thoughts.
I have some comments on the dogwoods. I think they're very beautiful trees. I think they would look great. My only concern is I'm not sure if these are the correct plant to be planting in a floodplain. Just looking at the handout that we received, it says moisture moderate. This is a floodplain, so they're obviously going to be getting a lot of moisture. And I believe these trees are very susceptible to root rot when they're too much water. And also the soil needs to be well drained. I don't see that happening in the floodplain. So I'm just worried that we plant these trees in the floodplain, how well are they going to do? I know the roots may grow wide, but they don't grow deep. Some of the plants that I was looking at that would do very well in the floodplain are silver maple, sycamore, green ash, river birch, swamp white oak, American elm, black willow, eastern cottonwood. These are trees that the roots will go very deep, soak up a lot of water, and they're known to grow in a floodplain. They're riparian trees that grow right along the side of a river and soak up a lot of water. So that's my only concern with these plantings. I understand these trees would be great for the area. They would look really nice. But my only concern is how are they going to be for the flood zone? Anyone else have any comments?
I'm just going to agree with you. When I investigated that, I got the same conclusion as you were coming up with. Oak trees, the red maple, all those kept coming up. Those trees are very beautiful, and I do think you should put them there, but maybe give a different variety. Don't put so many.
It does seem to be reasonable that we're targeting more of the species similar to what was removed. And, you know, while we don't know exactly, I think it's reasonable to assume that they were oak maple.
Yeah, just an FYI, when we get the order in the first place, we were supposed to remove 108 trees, counting the 8 diameter and 8 inch in diameter. And what was approved by the commissioner, you know, back in 2019 was exactly the plan that, you know, dogwood, you know, tree. So it was in the original plan, and that we thought, hey, you know what, this was approved by the board already, by the commissioner already. Why not, you know, do it now instead of wait until we, you know, break the ground and all that kind. So that was the reason behind it. And then of course, from discussing with you know, Moody's Monk and board member, those are beautiful trees. It really enhance, you know, the environment there, you know, nicely. So that's why we come back, you know, with this plan.
So are you saying that the commission approved that you plant dogwood?
That's correct. Yes.
That
was based on the document.
Correct?
Yeah, that was based on document in 2019. Yeah.
To that number, that amount?
Not the amount, but the type of you know, tree. The type of tree.
I mean,
yeah.
I do like the dogwoods, I really do. But in regards to the additional 14 additional trees that are unlabeled, I mean, I would like to see.
Oh, it's the same thing. It's the same dogwood. It's just that yeah, it's the same dogwood, but just as one is in pink, one is in white, and possibly in red color. Those are pretty much just the same type, just different color. That's all it is. Yeah.
Well, just my personal opinion, I don't think dogwoods are a great tree to plant on this property at all. I think some of the trees that I stated would be better to plant instead of dogwoods. I can leave it up for discussion with everyone, what everyone thinks, but I don't see these trees flourishing as much as trees that should be in the floodplain. Especially since there were a ton of trees cut down already that shouldn't have been. And I think we should be replacing one for one a tree that's going to grow the same height as opposed to these trees, which are going to grow 30 feet tops.
Are there any of these 3 areas that you would be willing to consider more native and more in-kind replacement?
We are flexible. I mean, we are not. I'm not an expert on a tree, but just looking at that, the coloring, the flowering, and certainly going back to the original, approval documentation. We thought that was already approved by the commissioner, and let's say we come back and say, what? Why don't we plant it now? Since you mentioned, hey, it's time to plant the tree. Since we remove the tree. So that was the quick response. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm just commenting on, this is an open enforcement order for the trees that were cut down. So we are looking to mitigate the damage that was done by the trees that were cut down. I understand you had this in your plan from 2019 to plant these around the building, but what we need to do is mitigate the damage that has been done from the trees that were cut down. So I highly recommend choosing some of the species that I have stated, and I can give a list to the office and maybe send the list over to you, and you guys can choose from any tree you like from that list, if that would work.
We'll be happy to look at that as well. Like I said, I mean, the original document or the order was to cut 108 trees. That was, I mean, even including the one that was cut as well, which is that we didn't cut during the time of that, that order, because of, I think it's our part.
And once this project starts moving forward, you guys are going to have to cut down a ton more trees, right, for the parking area?
Yeah, the easement, that connected to, the former L Lodge, that was to be cut down and graded, and but again, more tree will be planted.
So that makes these plantings all even more important, since there's going to be more trees taken down.
Well, I hesitate you to mix.
Enforcement order.
Yeah, we're talking about an enforcement order. I mean, if you're gonna give them, you can't give them one side and not the other.
I'm just saying, think about what's going to happen to the whole.
Sure. So, I guess we have 2 options. We can request to follow some of this list, which is not a bad idea by any means. If Sam is willing to take this back one more time and review that list that you could provide. The other, I believe, option that we have is to put a condition on future development that allows us to go back and check these trees. And say, if they're not doing well, we figure out why, we see if it's too much water or if it's that, they just weren't planted properly or something, and make this, kind of preempt a condition in future order of conditions for this project.
seeing that this is the third enforcement order, I don't see that making a difference if we have any type of condition.
Well, the city's responsible, the city holds them responsible for that work, and they wouldn't be able to get a sign off on that work if they don't meet the conditions. And conditions are the way that we hold somebody who's been negligent in following the rules and regulations of the city responsible for their actions. That's our process. If they don't do a development, there's not much that we can do, really. I mean, we could probably put a 3-year life check on these trees. And if any have failed to request a return to the board, as far as I know, that's a mechanism we can put on anything that we decide.
And this,
And we should be, I think, more often. That's something that I've been thinking about doing in general for development projects. And, seeing as we're talking about, the review of the final site conditions of this, this is a pretty substantial planting project now.
so that, I mean, those trees that were cut down were right in the entrance. There's never gonna be tall trees there ever again.
Correct.
So this is just trying to plant the same amount of, I don't want to say canopy because it's more how much water is being absorbed by these trees on the property at a different location. And how many do we have? We're gonna have, there were, what, 22 cut down? What was it?
Yeah, there were 22 cut down. The document was provided last time.
All right, so, we could also say there's the row of 7 trees that is parallel to Townsend, kind of behind where the building would go. Here, we could say, make the 2 ends and the middle ones from this list. And we could say, of the back row of 14 trees, make, every 3rd one or something from this list. And so that way you get your lower canopy flowering pink and white dogwoods, and we also get some taller,
I like that idea.
area trees.
Give a lot more to the canopy.
And that allows us, if everybody's in agreement, to kind of say, this is a middle ground between the client's request and what we feel is, perfect scenario.
Yeah.
And we can give him that list and he can have at it because it's getting cold.
I think,
Taller tree, will the taller tree eventually take all the sunlight, preventing the others? I'm asking. Because eventually they all reach for sunlight.
Yeah, they want
Once
full
it's
sun.
overcome,
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
maybe at the.
I don't know what the dashed line is. You've shown this row of trees and right behind it there's a dashed line. What is that line?
Oh, that is so the rest of the rest on the top right here, it stay as is. There's nothing touched. All the tree, all everything's all in there.
Just like
We only going to
the edge of disturbance from the original plan.
Yeah. So that's gonna be all trees.
That's your limit of work line?
From,
yeah. This is sort of this is what need to be clear. From the bottom down right here.
So, all right, so there's still the original kind of forest behind it?
It's still all there. The original forest is all there.
I
Yeah.
remember that from the original. This is all gonna remain
So,
untouched.
you still got some tall trees in there.
Yeah.
Right?
There's the tall tree there. Yes. Plenty of tall tree there. Yes.
And, odds are, in a couple of years, by the time this replacement happens, we'll have the opportunity to review the trees under development project anyway.
So, so we're looking at putting in a condition?
I'm looking to condition this approval to be 3 of the 7 trees on the what do you call it? The rear of the property. 3 of 7 to the rear of the property, and 6 of 14. 6 out of the 14 of the trees in the back to be native. You know, this out of this list. And that gives you 3 groups of 2 for the dogwoods. If you want to stagger the dogwoods forward a little bit to hope that they get a little bit more sun, I don't know the orientation of this, and I can't actually, I don't know, it's just a thought.
The canopy from behind isn't going to affect it because dogwoods are going to be more south.
Well, yeah, I'm just talking about if we replace some of these trees with the taller ones,
Yeah,
right? Then
take over.
what Maria was saying was that they'd cast a shadow on the ones next to them.
Yeah.
But if you maybe pulled the dogwoods up 10 feet,
Right.
you know, it looks like you got plenty of room back there between the parking lot and this tree line.
Right.
If you just pulled the dogwoods a little bit forward, they might be able to get a little bit more sun and plant the 6 out of 14
And then
taller
back,
trees
yeah.
on that line
Okay,
so that they can
that's-
blend in with the forest kind of thing.
That's a good idea. We can work on that. Yeah. 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 We will add whatever the tree, the tall tree in the back, and use this 23 as is, and then maybe we make the color a little bit, and then add on whatever the tall tree in the back. That's certainly fine. So that way it's not impact on the it's not going to affect the development. It stay anywhere. It's way on the top here. It's all going to be stay as what it is. Yeah.
Just double check, I don't remember what the grading off that back parking lot was like, that back
Okay.
finger lot, and just make sure, because if you are changing the elevation in there, I don't think it changed that much, though. I don't think you're like bringing it up the soil a bunch and then you've got a big taper to catch back up to the existing grade. I don't think it works like that. That would be the only explanation I have as to why the limit of work is so far back behind that. There might also be a detention basin back there that was created as part of the development. I just don't recall. It was a long time ago now.
Right.
Just make sure that, you know, if you go moving forward a little bit, you don't jeopardize the whole reason we've located all these other
Sure.
areas.
Yeah.
But if you know, the guidelines are followed, that if you're doing 3 of these 7 is from this list, Kevin's actually writing the email right now, sending it to Peter, so you should be able to get it by the time you leave this room.
Okay.
And 6 out of the 14 in the back, I'm calling everything the back, I'm sorry, you know what I mean.
Okay.
You know, you can slide them around to the best of your ability, and we'll review this when you come to build a beautiful new temple. And then you get the 2 dogwoods right on the edge of the cemetery, which I think is one of the higher spots on your site anyway.
It's one of the highest spot. Yeah.
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 Anybody want to put that in a motion? Don't jump at once.
Gather thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to rescind the enforcement order with the condition that,
I don't think we rescinded until it's been planted.
okay,
So we are,
so we just have the conditions then, so we don't have anything. to make a
we
motion
are, yeah, what are we doing?
on. So we don't need to make.
If you're not rescinding it, you don't need to make a
You don't need to
motion.
make a
You're just saying, do this.
All
Do
right.
this.
Pick
okay.
from
All
the
right, so-
pick from
all
the
right,
list
cool.
and come
Awesome.
back to
Yeah,
us.
That's what
Sorry.
we're asking for. a
My bad.
motion.
So we can continue it.
Yeah, you're continuing it. Yeah.
So this should be continued we'll put it on for 2 weeks.
Yeah, because we want to give them a little bit of time to.
I don't really expect you to have these all in the ground by October 22nd, but
Probably not.
yeah.
Yeah, no.
Should we just do November 5th? November
It's the 12th.
The 12th.
November 12th?
Does that work?
And honestly, there's no punishment or judgment if you don't make it by then. You just send an email to the office and say, we need to continue again.
Okay.
And honestly, if it gets cold and it stays cold and you decide you want to wait until the spring, at this point, I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah, we want the trees to be healthy,
Yeah.
planted at this point.
I don't have
Usually-
any problem with planting right now,
Either
but
plant in
if,
fall or spring.
if you wait, if it gets to be 3 or 4 more weeks and it starts being cold all the time, then you may want to not do that and just tag them for next year.
Okay, we'll
Finding
look.
stock at this time of year is going to be kind of difficult too. It looks like you found online sources,
Okay.
but we'd rather you have a great chance of success with this.
We hope so.
Okay, so,
All right, I'll make a motion to continue to the November 12th meeting.
all right, cool.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
The September 24th meeting minutes, any comments?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You have anything for us tonight? Okay, one more.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you very much. Everybody have a good night.
Have a good night.